Good evening, folks. We have another Confederate Minute with Isenhour Speaks. I wanted to actually read to you all one of the blogs that I'd written actually some time ago, because I think it's relevant with all the activity that's been going on today and stuff. We've had some sad news coming out of Chatham County down there. Didn't go well with us today in the courtroom, but we'll have to see what happens. But it's still the same old, same old. These people are always going to come after us. They're not going to stop because of one victory or one loss. It's a way of life that we have to look at now. That's what this blog is a little bit more about. I want to read it to you. And it's also published. I have actually published the blog that I wrote on Isenhour Speaks. It's already up there. So by the time that you hear me say this, you can actually read the words. So it might be a little bit clearer, because I'm not as good at reading as I am at speaking. So here it goes. The name of this blog, it was called "We Are Called to Act." And to start off is: a lie does not become truth, wrong doesn't become right, and evil doesn't become good just because it's accepted by the majority. Actually, you all have heard that before, but does it mean anything to you? That's the point. Does it really sink in and let it really talk to you? Now, as we begin again to take back our country, part of the restoration is to teach the citizens again the true history. We've been on that with Isenhour Speaks for some time now. The history of our southern ways and our God-given unique country. Warts and all. Missteps, intolerance and all. The PC socialists picking and choosing what history fits into their narrow mob mentality of the day. This must stop. This is what we're allowing them to do. They're picking and choosing what they say about American history. This is good, this is bad, and then just picking and choosing. It doesn't make sense. They cannot really square the circle of their lies. That's the problem that they're having. They have so many lies out there, and it's hard to fit into a comprehensive thing, but we allow them to do that. So let me continue. One group is in, another is out, because the elites have a new call celeb of the week. This nonsense has been going on for decades, long before Donald Trump ever came on the scene. And they want to have this history that fits into their narrow mob mentality. And this is something that we have to actually stand up and tell the truth about. That's what Isenhour Speaks is really all about, telling the truth about these things. With all these few elites, they tell us, Americans, that we need to teach our prodigy. It's to the parents, it's the parents' God-ordained task to teach the youth. We pass on our faith to our children. And we family learn lessons in the family history to our children. Each American is sovereign citizen. Read our Declaration of Independence. It's very clear. Not some low-life bureaucrat in some secular PC blog or government or whatever it happens to be. American citizens must decide what is best for themselves and for their children, not some out of touch bureaucracy in a state capital or a city or whatever. The point to this is we have to take back what is already ours. It's been taken from us. Who are these few elites to tell Americans what we will teach? That has been our problem. We're allowing them to teach us, and we just sit there, and we know the history. The real history is there. And it's to us to learn it and to teach our children and to teach our neighbors and to teach our politicians what the real truth is. It's all there. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. If we allow a name or a phrase or some full belief to stop us from doing what is right, then we must stop doing that, because that is the problem. We have to alter our behavior of being so shocked by the way that they come after us. They're evil. They're Marxists. Their playbook is very simple. They lie, and you cannot trust them. They are liars, and they're deceitful people. They have no godliness in them. They're evil. And so if you allow them to continue perpetuating this evil, that's brothers and sisters, that's on your head, because we know what the truth is. So the point is to get the truth out there, and there are lots of different ways to do that. Now, the elites and these snowflakes, first of all, we understand they are cowards. They are always cowards about everything. And so if we stand up with the truth, and that we have the truth on our side, God's truth the historical truth, they back down because they're cowards. They have nothing to go through. All they can do is just holler at you and cuss at you. But that doesn't mean anything. If you let it mean stuff to you, then you're the one that needs to change. Folks, this battle that we're in, basically this war that we're in, is a long-term fight for the soul of this country. And it's us who have to pick up the banner and run with it, or basically march forward with it. We are the ones that have the history. We are the ones that have the truth on our side, and we must go forward and proclaim that. Now, keep in mind that the American citizen is a unique creature in the world history. The American citizen is not a race. It is basically a culture, an idea. It's an idea that we have that has been established by this country, and that's that way everyone who comes to America and becomes an American can have the same idea. That is the family that we're in. So when you start putting race and stuff into this, you're just missing the point. America has never been about race. America has always been about the idea of being American, what it means. And we have the documents right in front of us, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution. These things are right in front of us, but do you know them? When was the last time you actually read the Constitution? And here's the point. If you had read the Constitution recently, why haven't you been active in civil government? We talked about that a couple weeks ago about voting and stuff. Voting is very key, but it's more than that. It's also the educational process of going forward and teaching the next generation the values of what it is to be an American. And I'm really more concerned about being a Southern American at this point, because I believe the South is integral in its formation of how this country was formed. It was Southern leaders that started all this. It was Southern leaders that actually did these things. We have a proud heritage to uphold. It's not just about one war, it's about American history. Now, one of the things, as long as they can divide the citizens into victim groups, fighting fictional perpetrators, as long as they can divide us and keep us fighting fictional characters and always come after us, that's how they divide us. That's why we cannot allow that to happen, because the Americans, we have a true history of what the country is all about. Now, part of what our problem is right now is simple. Most of us are not standing up and being counted. It's just that simple. One of the things that we do is to stand together and be counted, and join in other like-minded folks, your neighbors, things on social media. Homeschool your children. Get involved in your local, county, and city government, and stay involved. See, it's not a one-time thing. That's what I can't seem to get across everybody. When we rally to do something, a specific thing, it's really just a day in the life of how to be an American citizen, because they're always going to come after our stuff. So if we have one successful rally, or two successful rallies, or three successful rallies, or we win a court case here, or we win a court case there, that doesn't mean the fight is over, because these people are demonic. Do you not understand that Satan doesn't sleep? His minions don't sleep. They never stop because they are satanic. So you cannot ever stop. You must go forward under God's cross. And you have to understand that we are always in this battle. And that's where the problem thing that we have done is we sit down and say, oh, well, we just won that one, so let's sit back and let everything go. It doesn't work that way. You must be an engaged citizen at all times. 24/7, folks. 24/7. That's what an engaged citizen is. Going back to earlier times, we call them Minutemen. We still need Minutemen today. Yes, we don't want to go into a war stance with a civil war again. However, you need to have Minutemen and Minutewomen so ready to stand up at moment's notice to protect monuments, to go to court, to go to school functions with the school boards and things like that. So it's important that we get the concept back that we are Minutemen. We are minute citizens. We can react to situations that happen. And again, I want to emphasize that all of us have our part in this. There were some people today that went up to Orange and sat in the courtroom and listened to that. I couldn't do that today, but they did. So we just need citizens to do their part when they can. Not everybody has to stand out there, as we've said in the past, with a flag, but we do have to be out there as active citizens doing what we can in our community to support the community. Sometimes that takes dollars, that takes bake sales, that takes barbecues, Brunswick stews, all kinds of things to help us raise money to defend against these onslaughts that we're receiving from basically liberals. I guess that's the meanings of Satan. If we believe that we are God's sovereign individuals, then isn't it time that we live like it? Jeremiah 29, verses 10 through 14 speaks of a generation has to pass before providence restores the dream of a godly nation. We can be renewed in our quest for God's restoration in this country through our Constitution, Republic, through our states' rights, through the rights and the rule of law that we have. We have every tool. God has already given us the tools that we need to maintain this country and move it forward. What we're not doing is standing up and being accountable. That's what this is all about. I'm asking you all to get out and be accountable. And we say this over and over, but I can't say it enough. You have to educate yourself. You have to read. You have to know why you are who you are. You also have to have the ability to go out and team up with other citizens to be effective. Because when there are a group of us out there, we're more effective than just one or two people standing alone. So it's very important that you get involved always. Now, the thing that the Southern Heritage movement we also have the Second Amendment movement. We also have the small family farm movements. We call grassroots political groups. These are very important. These are our allies that we have. The Second Amendment people right now here in Virginia are up in arms, as they rightly should be, because the legislatures talk about taking away our guns. So they're very active because at this point they see someone coming to the door and taking their weapons away. You should always have that activity, and you realize that you're always under assault in today's world, and you can never let your guard down. You must always be engaged as a citizen and go forward with other citizens. That's where we're very effective. Remember, folks, we outnumber them. It's just that simple. There are a bunch of loud, liberal voices, Satanist people scream and holler and get on television. They do all kinds of crazy things, but they're very a small group of really low-life individuals. I don't know how else to say it. They're not very smart, actually. But they sit there and scream and holler, and somehow that affects how you are, and that should stop. How you should never be put down by someone lying to you and telling you mistruths and everything else. Know your history, know why you're an American citizen, and act upon it. I'll leave you with this one last thing. These times, we're in the start of a winnable struggle to restore our American country. This, my brothers and sisters, is why we call it walk it, talk it. And that's what this is about. You can walk it and you can talk it, but you can do both, but you can't choose one or another. You can't just talk it and never walk it. One goes with the other. You've got to talk the truth, walk the truth. You have to talk history, you've got to be history. You have to be out there, talk activity, and show up and be active. That's what this thing is going to take to change this, coming back around. Always rallying to the banner, the cross of St. Andrews, which is a Christian symbol, as we've talked about in many times past. We are in the right. There is nothing wrong with what we're doing. We're just restoring what was taken from us by these liberals over time. They have distorted the Constitution. They have distorted the country. And it's time for us to stand up and take it back. So, what are you going to do? Sit there and complain or get active? My suggestion is get active, brother, sister. Go out and let your voice be heard. Let your voice be known. And be active. All these things I pray that you all will do and consider. And we'll talk to you the next Isenhour Speaks. Bye-bye.